Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now, and today a lot of news to go ahead and get into regarding the Philadelphia Eagles, including some very breaking injury news that literally just happened. That'll be a little bit later on in today's video. But we start with, let's just say, the big news of the week so far, and that has to do with the reports from multiple NFL insiders, Rapoport, ESPN, talking about how Zach Ertz and the Eagles have begun talks on a new contract extension. They have, quote, re-engaged talks with Zach Ertz. Now, it's kind of odd because Zach Ertz has 2 years left on his current contract, which was extended just a couple of years ago at about $8.5 million. But, of course, this all comes on the heels of the brand new Travis Kelce deal and, of course, the brand new $15 million a year George Kittle deal as well. My breakdown before I give you guys the official, what they had to say about this is it's a little too early. Like, I understand starting talks because you want to, it takes a while to figure these things out, but this is way too early to go ahead and already give Zach Ertz a brand new deal. I'll explain more of that in 1 second. Here was Bleeding Green Nation. Their quote on Zach Ertz saying, quote, "The feeling here is that the Eagles shouldn't be in a rush to extend Ertz at this point. He's signed through 2021, so he has 2 years remaining on his current deal. It's not like there's a rush to get ahead of the market now. That has already been set so high," and they said it perfectly. That's why I wanted to reiterate their point before I continued. Now, we know what the market actually looks like and what the Eagles are going to eventually, have to go ahead and pay Ertz. Kittle makes $15 million a year. Kelce makes $14. Hunter Henry way down there at 10.6. You could see Zach Ertz being one of the highest, probably the top 3 highest paid tight ends in the NFL, probably $13 to $15 million per year. Do you give Zach Ertz a $15 million a year deal? I don't know. That's tough. And the problem with all of this is he currently makes $8.5 million a year, which, again, it's not bad for the tight end market, but he obviously is one of the better ones, if not the best, in the at least the NFC or in the National Football League, so he deserves to get more. The problem with this news coming out right now is that it's just so darn early, and you don't even need to be thinking about this till at least next offseason. The one interesting thing that people are talking about regarding Zach Ertz has to do with the fact that if he doesn't perform well, like let's say Dallas Goedert plays better than he does this year, it's not only going to hurt his chances at getting an extension, but the Eagles might just trade him next offseason because they go, hey, we already have your replacement. He's younger and cheaper and I guess better if Ertz plays poorly this year. And so they would trade him for a king's ransom, get back some good draft picks, and then let Dallas Goedert be the starting tight end on the Philadelphia Eagles. The thing is, though, the odds of Zach Ertz having a down year are almost impossible, barring an injury, because he has been absolutely fantastic for Philadelphia the past couple of seasons. Really, he's been the leading receiver on Philadelphia every single year, except for I think the last time was Jordan Matthews was higher, like 2015. He's really that good. I love Zach Ertz. He deserves to get paid. I think he will get paid. It's just way too early to worry about this. Nothing is going to happen, honestly, this year. If they do something, it'll be next offseason, and that could either be extend, which more than likely, or a worst-case scenario for Ertz would be a trade, and that means the Eagles be very confident and happy with what Dallas Goedert has been able to do during the 2020 campaign. I'm curious what you guys would do here, right? I mean, it seems easy, right? You'd want to extend Zach Ertz, but is there a group of Eagle fans that want to trade him? Type T down below or the pinned comment down below, like the number 1 comment that we put out. T for trade, E for extend. I want to kind of gauge the audience here. I think it'll be an extension. I would extend him. Just there is a small group of people who want him to be traded, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And of course, if this deal were to get done anytime soon, we'll have a complete breakdown here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, so make sure you guys are subscribed, because whenever crazy things happen, and crazy things happening are like every single day once training camp starts, we cover it all here, so go ahead and subscribe right now to Philadelphia Eagles Now. Okay, now is the time of the show where I admit that I was wrong, and I admit that I was very wrong, to the point that I was defending myself and calling out people I thought were wrong, and yet here I am. I was wrong about Sidney Jones. There, I said it. I'm an adult. I'm a grown man. I'll say it right. I was wrong about Sidney Jones. Okay? Now let's break down why I was wrong about Sidney Jones. He is entering his 4th year. He's never lived up to expectations. And guess what? He is on the brink of being cut right now in Philadelphia. Yes, cut right now in Philadelphia. And listen, I know that I said for weeks and weeks and weeks that he was supposed to be looking good this offseason. He had been working out. He had gotten bigger, gotten stronger. He was going to be the nickel cornerback over Nickell Robey-Coleman. I was wrong. When I give you, Jim Schwartz is going to back up my new theory that he is bad here in a second. But first, drop a like if you knew I was wrong all the time. So if you're new to the channel, again, I've been saying that Sidney Jones would, of course, be potentially a starter at cornerback this year. He's not going to be, according to everything we're reading right now. So if you knew I was wrong, and a lot of you guys tweeted me and said, Thomas, you're crazy, you're crazy. Guess what? You were right. Give this video a thumbs up to go ahead and show that, I was wrong. So here was Jim Schwartz, though. on Sidney Jones. And the precursor to this is Sidney Jones has been out the past, week and a half with a lower body injury, so he's not been on the football field. So Schwartz was asked this just the other day in his press conference, and he said, quote, "Our time is starting to run short. The only thing we can do as coaches is coach the guys that are available to practice. There's still time, but time is starting to creep up on us. We're less than 3 weeks from our opener right now," end quote. Again, that's about Sidney Jones. When asked, what's the deal going on right now, they say lower body injury. Now, we don't know exactly what the lower body injury is. It could be ankle, it could be hamstring, it could be knee, who knows, but he's continued to sit out practice, and that's just going to hurt a guy who, again, went from being a second-round draft pick to being a starter at some time to potentially being the starting nickel cornerback this year, has not been able to get on the football field. And you go to the injury history, it's a problem, right? He already has an injury this year. 2019 had a hamstring, missed games. 2018 had a hamstring, missed games. And 2017 was, of course, his pro day at Washington. He tore his Achilles, and that was why, of course, he missed majority of the offseason, and then some extra games there as well. The Eagles have too many young cornerbacks and too many cornerbacks in their third or fourth year who are vying for a spot to have Sidney Jones not be on the football field and not be able to showcase what he has got. And so, honestly, I'm talking about how I'm wrong right now. I'm talking about how Sidney Jones, if he does not get on the football field, will be a cap casualty. He will be cut at the end of training camp. That's my new prediction right now. See, this is the beauty of Philadelphia Eagles now. There are a lot of hosts who will just, beat a dead horse and just never admit they're wrong. I was wrong. That's fair. And so we go ahead and move on. What I'm not wrong about, though, is these Eagle hats that they have on sale right now at chatsports.com/Eagles hats. And that's a good little transition there. You guys like that? These are fantastic. We've been showcasing some Eagle hats before, so some of these you've seen, but there are also some brand new ones as well. And we're shuffling through. You got the all black, the Fly Eagles Fly. The Color Rush hats, to me, look absolutely fantastic as well. All the hats there. I mean, you're just seeing a ton right now. Go down below, link in the description box, chatsports.com/Eagles hats, the place to go ahead and pick that one up. Okay, quick bit of injury news here. This broke literally like 10 minutes ago. I'm filming this here on a Wednesday morning. Genard Avery, of course, the linebacker D-end who traded for a fourth-round draft pick from the Browns last year, was just carted off the Eagles training camp field with a severe right leg injury. There's no more details on that. I'm sure they will give it a full update this afternoon, so by the time you watch this, you might have the update on Avery. We don't know if it's a broken leg or like an Achilles or a knee, but it's supposedly a severe one. All the team came around him and kind of, as they do when you get carted off the football field, patted him on the back. Even Doug Peterson came out and talked to him. This is a significant injury, and I would be absolutely shocked if by this time tomorrow we don't have a season-ending IR type scenario with Genard Avery, who, listen, was not going to make a big difference in Philadelphia this year, but they did give a fourth-round draft pick for him last year, right? They were hoping he could be a rotational pass rusher. Now that it's completely taken away, which gives more opportunities for Josh Sweat and the newly re-signed Vinny Curry. But this is tough. I mean, this is the first major injury that Philadelphia has had, and knock on wood, prayers up that he's going to be okay. And obviously, hopefully, Philadelphia has no more major injuries. But it seems to happen every single year for every single team. Some team has a serious injury in training camp, and Philadelphia has had their first one. It is Genard Avery. Again, the only report we have right now is that it is a severe right leg injury. They'll have more details on that. We'll probably have details on that later on this week. Okay, final bit of news here. This is just kind of fun. So Dallas Goedert was talking to the media, I think yesterday. He was asked about the Eagles' offense, and he, instead of just saying, the Eagles' offense is good, which we know it is, he says it's going to be a nightmare offense for defenses to try to go ahead and cover. It's going to be impossible to defend Philadelphia with all of their new weapons and the fact that they, of course, have elite players really at all three skill positions on the offense, whether you talk about running back, about wide receiver, and talk about tight end as well. So the question is, can the Eagles be a top offense in the NFL? They were like 14th last year. Can they be a top offense in the NFL? I think overall this is the best Eagles offense we've seen in a very, very long time. Give me your prediction on where the Eagles will rank in 2020. Total offense, right? So 1 being the best. Obviously 32 would mean that we're like terrible, which hopefully won't happen. Where do you rank the Eagles offense? Let me know right now in the comments section. Here was Goddard. He had a whole list of quotes talking about how good they are at tight end, and then Deshaun Jackson over the top, but he finished with this quote: "There are so many different things that we can do, so many things that that both of us bring to the table. We can cause a little bit of nightmares for defensive coordinators." He's talking about both him and Ertz, but he also talked about Miles Sanders in the running game and Deshaun Jackson and Jalen Reagor on offense. This was already a good Eagles offense last year in terms of overall stats. Like, they were a top 15 offense and literally everything: points per game, rushing yards per game, passing yards per game. I mean, they were very, very good in terms of being a top half of the league, but that was without a lot of weapons, especially later on in the NFL season. Imagine these numbers with, I mean, everyone healthy and the progression of guys like Miles Sanders and Deshaun Jackson and Jalen Reagor. I think this is easily going to be a top 10 offense. The question is, how much higher can they go? And that's why we're all going to watch, because it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see what Philadelphia is able to do. There you go, though. Ultimately, we have for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I got to get the full updates on everything. The Genard Avery news, prayers up. Hopefully, he's going to be okay, but it's not looking good. We'll have more updates on that in the coming days and weeks here on the channel. Ultimately, we have for today on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm your host and leader, Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.